Hi, everybody. It's Leslie Denny coming from Yoga Oceanside Annex, our chair yoga central over here in Oceanside. And I'm sure glad that you joined us. Hello out there in Yoga Land. How is everybody today? I hope you're doing great on this rainy day today, but I feel certain that, boy, are we going to have a spring once the sun really pops out full bloom. So thanks for coming today. Merlin has joined me today. I put a little pad out for him so that he could be a part of the program as much as he chooses to. So today I brought you a phrase from John Wooden. And for you youngsters that don't know who John Wooden is, he was a basketball coach for UCLA. His nickname was the Wizard of Westwood because UCLA is located in Westwood, California, in Los Angeles. And he was a brilliant coach, a motivational guy, inspiring as all get out. And he actually had a record of, he started coaching for the basketball team there as an assistant coach in 1948. This is how long his career went. And he taught through 1975. In 1963, he became the head coach of the basketball team and won them 12 consecutive NCAA championships. 7 of those actually were in a row. And he has always been one of those people that whenever I need a quote to lift me up and keep me going, John Wooden's the man. And so today I picked this one out, which is, for me, I had not heard this one before, which is hard to believe. Things turn out best for the people who make the best of the way things turn out. Boy, I love that. I think about often in life when things don't turn out what we want, they're not exactly going in the direction that we wish they would, we still make the best of it. I think that's the resilient nature of the human spirit. And sometimes we'll let it get us down, but it doesn't always have to happen that way. And we can turn ourselves around by making the best of circumstances. So in our practice today, think about maybe there will be something that occurs to you or you encounter that's not turning out in the best fashion that you would wish it to. Maybe you're not feeling as good today as you would hope, or maybe you're just, for whatever reason, not feeling great. And that can be mood-wise, emotional, physical, mentally distracted. And making the best of that usually means incorporating our yoga practice for me. And as soon as I come to my mat, I feel like I have given myself permission to let go of the distractions and the interferences in my practice and enjoying this present moment. So within that spirit, just kind of take a breath. And if you like to sit with your feet on a block or a big book, feel free to do that. Make sure you've got a strap beside you. If you are wanting to listen to some music, go ahead and put that music on when you're ready. Play whatever your heart's desiring today to make this experience exactly the way you need it. And if you're using an oil, essential oil of some sort, feel free to have that handy and place that on and maybe give it a few inhales. And then always have your bottle of water handy too, or a little glass of water in case you get thirsty. So let's come to that comfortable seated posture and just take a few deep breaths. Really deep inhale through the nose and then exhale slow through the mouth. And maybe in your mind's eye, feel as though for every inhale, you're drawing in the spirit and the energy that you need for your practice today. Maybe you just need for yourself. And for every exhale, You're ushering out the things that don't serve you, the distractions, the little things that maybe you can't fix. So what would life be like if you could just let it go? Let's take the next few breaths. Just entertain the idea of inhaling inspiration, exhaling distraction. And just while you're in that peace, that's opening up and keeping your eyes closed for a moment longer, notice the sounds that you hear around you. It may be sounds of people actively moving about. It might be a wind chime from your backyard or your neighbors. You might hear a bird chirping, moving through the yard. You might hear people walking around outside. Just what are the things that you notice, creating that observance of your environment? And then for those things that you're hearing that feel like they're a source more distracting you from your practice, see if you can just make a commitment in your mind and your heart to let those things go, one at a time. Sometimes even in our personal space that we're practicing in, we can't control the environment physically, but we can certainly control the environment with what effect it has on our hearts and minds. And then when you're ready, just relax the arms alongside of you, relax through the shoulders, and drop the chin to the chest and just feel that stretch move up through the back of the neck. Then slowly roll the head over to one side. How's your day going so far? Go ahead, talk to me. I'm listening. And then rolling the chin to the chest, take it to the opposite side. We're going to do that a few more times. Thank you, Merlin. And then bring that chin to the chest and roll it to the other side. Notice we're not rolling the head all the way around to the back. That protects the cervical vertebra from undue compression. And then once again, bring the chin to the chest and roll it to the other side. And then bringing the chin to the chest, go ahead and lift the head. Take another deep inhale, and on the exhale, try to relax the shoulders down as much as you can. And then turn the head to one direction and just feel a stretch through your neck. A good stretch. And then turn to the opposite direction. Just once again, feeling that good stretch. And then as you turn the head facing forward, go ahead and drop your hands towards your knees. Roll one shoulder towards the opposite knee. We've been doing this a few times over our last sessions. And the reason that I really like this is because it's a very easy, dynamic, almost dynamic stretch that eases into your upper back all the way down to your hips. So it helps open up through the shoulders. It helps open up through the hips as well. Kind of a multi-purpose stretch. Good. And just do that a couple of more times to each side. Good. And then sit up nice and tall. And on the inhale, draw the arms out to the side. Now, when you bring the arms out to the side, try not to feel it in your low back. If you're starting to feel it in the low back, maybe draw the arms a little farther forward and just let those arms hang out there a little bit. If you need to bend the elbows a little bit, it's okay. We want to try to increase circulation a little bit for our practice. And this is really a good way to do it, is just by simply lifting the arms. I'm going to tell you a little secret too in just a moment. Take one more breath there. And then with the next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, reach up. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Good. Let's keep doing our sun salutations. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhaling into your forward fold. Inhaling to flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up. And exhaling, hands to heart. We're going to do 3 more of those. So inhaling, reach up. And exhale into forward fold. Inhaling to flat back. And exhale to forward fold. Inhaling, reach up. And exhaling, hands to heart center. 2 more. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, reach up. And exhaling, hands to heart. And we'll work through 1 more flow through here. Sweep your arms up and then release into forward fold. Stretch out to that flat back and then fall into your forward fold. Inhale, reach up. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Good. Draw the arms out from the shoulders. Again, elbows bent a little bit or drop them if you need to. But with the next inhale, sweep the arms up and then bring the arms back out to the side. Good. So palms up on the inhale as we sweep up. Exhale, push the palms down as you bring it down. And notice that I'm only really going towards shoulder height with my arms. Now, for some of us, it feels uncomfortable to reach the arms up. Some of us just don't have that range of motion for whatever reason. Make the best of what you have. So don't feel like you've got to force anything to happen. Just find this really nice acceptance of where you are. So as you're sweeping those arms up and down, and if you feel like you're getting to a point of tension, dial back from it for a moment and then rejoin if you can. What I've been doing over the last few days, this is my little secret that I'm going to share with you, is I've been doing Jane Fonda workouts. And I know not everybody's a fan of hers, but I actually like doing the aerobic sections of some of these things because they've been keeping me active these last several days, many, many days. And so I never realized how many bright colors we had in the 80s and how big the hair was. I believe me, I was a big hairhead, but I really, standing back in 2020 and looking at how big the hair was back then, it's surprising. It's almost shocking. So just give me 1 more flow there. Good. And then draw the hands at heart center. And let's go back to that sun salutation. Inhale, reach up. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhaling to flat back. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale, reach up. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Let's give ourselves a hug today. Go ahead and draw those arms around you and give yourself a nice big hug. Yeah. Just remember when you were like a teenager and you do this and then look in the mirror on your back and it looked like somebody was giving you a big kiss. That's kind of what we're doing here. And then lift your elbows up only to the point of gentle resistance. Now, what are we doing here? We are stretching a little bit into your latissimus dorsi. moves up into your shoulder blades, at the base of the shoulder blades. So you'll feel that stretch in that upper back, which is why we wanted to do some warming up before we did this. And just give it one more deep inhale and exhaling lower. Give yourself a hug with the arms on the opposite direction. And then slowly lift the elbows up. Give yourself that nice stretch in the upper back. Take some deep breaths and then slowly let those elbows come back down and then drop the arms to the side. With the next inhale, reach the arms up, interlace the fingers and push the palms to the sky. If your arms don't go straight up overhead, it's okay. Remember, we are making the very best of where we're at in this moment. And then draw the arms out in front of you, stretch through that upper back once again. Take a deep inhale, exhale the air, and then draw the arms behind you. Clasp your hands, squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift those arms back up and away. Good, you're doing great. And then release from there, hands to the tops of the legs, alternating from side to side, one shoulder towards the opposite knee. Now I'm checking into your setup just before we start to move out around too much. Make sure, aside from the block, that your chair is resting on a place where it won't slip. I have hardwood floors here, so I always use my yoga mat to rest my chair on so that it won't slide out from underneath me. And you may want to use that yoga mat even if you're on carpet, if that feels good to you. Good, and one more flow from there. Excellent. With the next inhale, sweep the arms up, exhaling into your forward fold. Inhale to flat back, exhaling into forward fold. Inhale, reach up, and exhaling, hands to heart center. Wonderful. Keep the elbows touching, the hands touching. With the next inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, sweep the arms out to the side and around. Doing a lot more of that upper body work. Inhale to lift. Exhale to bring it around to the side and down. Keep working through that flow. Nice and easy. Try not to force anything to happen. Just work at the range of intensity that feels good to you. You're doing great. Let's give me one more. And then release from there, hands to the knees and alternating shoulder stretches from side to side. This round, we're going to add an arm on each side if it's comfortable for you. I must say that a million times, but I think that sometimes we forget that you can work in the range that's comfortable for you. Every decision exactly in concert with what you needed to do. Good. Then with the next inhale, lift the arm up and reach to the opposing corner. Then lift up and drop that hand to the lap. So it's an inhale to reach up, exhale to stretch. Inhale, lift up, exhale to the lap. Belly muscles, inhale, relax them. Now engage them as you move into that stretch on the exhale. Then inhale, relax and lift. Exhale, engage to drop the hand down. Inhaling, relax the belly. Exhale, engage the belly. Inhaling, relax it. And exhale, back to the lap. You've got it. Just keep working that flow from side to side. Very nice way to provide protection for over-rotating, overextending when you're working into that little twist with the reach. So your abdominals keep you from going too far. And it doesn't mean that you have to have a six-pack. It just means you're going to kind of engage them a little bit. Good. And you do one more to each side. Excellent. And one more to finish off that little series. Good. And bring it back to the lap. And rest your hands on your knees. And now let's start three-part breathing. Remember, if you were with us a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the 3 chambers of breath. And we try to breathe through the upper chest, middle of the body by expanding on the inhale through the rib cage, exhaling, drawing that rib cage back in, inhaling at the third chamber by kind of pushing that belly out, and then exhale, pull the belly into exhale. Okay, so let's relax the hands. If you need to sit far back into the chair, feel free to do so. And just take a deep inhale to start and exhale through the mouth. And close your eyes and breathe through that upper chamber, the high heart center, this high chest area. Pay no mind to how long the inhale or the exhale is. Just notice the movement of that upper chest with each and every breath. You're doing great. Give me 2 more breaths just like that. And notice if it opens a little bit more. Just observe. Good. Then begin to breathe with that second chamber. On the inhale, feel the ribs almost expand outward. And on the exhale, pull in the rib cage. Inhaling, expansion. And exhale, pull it in. Breathe like that, just 3 more times. And follow that pattern of breath that's good for you through those last couple of times. Notice if it expands a little bit more each time, and if you can contract a little deeper. It's not a contest, just notice. And then moving into that third chamber of breath, on the inhale, almost feel like you're pushing the belly out a little bit. Exhaling, drop back in, creating space and movement with the diaphragm. Three more. Good, and one more deep inhale. And exhale it out. Now, as best you can, try to breathe with all 3 chambers. Feel expansion in the high heart center, the middle portion of the rib cage and the lower belly. Then draw it all back in on the exhale. Let's go. Keep going. And one more deep inhale. And exhale. And then resume a regular pattern of breath for yourself. How do you feel? Does it feel better? Sometimes just breathing is all that we need to make the best of a challenging situation. And I've always said that your life can change your breath, but your breath can change your life. So whenever you feel tension, when you're moving through a posture, trying to hold a pose, or living life, take an easy breath and see what it offers you in your practice of yoga or life. You're doing great. So let's move into Warrior One. So I'm going to move my block just to the side a little bit. And on this pose, I'm going to go ahead and sit myself towards the edge of my seat. But if you would rather stay far back into the seat, go for it. I want you to be comfortable with your choices. So make sure you're doing what feels good to you. Then I'm going to step my left foot forward and just anchor that foot right into the floor. And then either draw the hands out to the side or up. As soon as I do that lift of the raising the arms up, I've got to engage in my belly muscles a little bit because I can feel it in my low back. So you have 2 choices. If you're feeling a little fatigued in the belly muscles and it's hard for you to pull in that area, then just drop the arms a little bit and that'll take the load off of your low back. So whichever degree of intensity that's good for you, let's take 3 breaths right here in our Warrior One. And one more deep breath. Good. Now, since my left foot is forward, I'm going to drop that left hand to the side and hold on to the chair and reach the right arm up and over. I'm giving myself a good stretch. One thing I want you to think about, if you're turning your upper body, then lessen back. Bring the arm back and down a little bit so you just get that side body stretch. I don't want you to feel this in your low back body. And just keep breathing into that rib cage. And hold on to it for maybe 2 more breaths, less if you need to draw out sooner. It's okay. Good. And then release from there. Let's go ahead and switch the feet. And then draw the arms to where you're comfortable. Don't be surprised if you couldn't get your arms up here and you had to stay down here, that once you switch it, you might have a different range of motion, a different ability to be able to get into that arm motion as best you can, because we are bilateral beings. We have 2 sides, but that doesn't mean that both sides are the same. I know my one side is very different from my other side. And it's not that I really treat them differently, like playing favorites. I just kind of know that when I'm moving through poses and accommodate things that feel a little tougher for me on one side. Sometimes I feel weaker on one side than the other side. So I just kind of remember that when I'm doing things. And then drop that arm down and then reach the arm up and over. So whatever foot is closest to you, that arm is what's reaching up and overhead. And just keep stretching. Remember, try not to rotate, just back off of it a little bit if you need to, and really feel that stretch into your side body. 2 more breaths. And then release from there. How did that feel? Go ahead and draw those feet in. Inhaling, reach up. Engage your belly and hinge forward into chair pose. Remember, last week I was talking about the fact that you don't want to round the shoulders to lean forward. You actually want to hinge forward just like that. That protects that low spine, and it also gives you an opportunity to kind of engage through your belly muscles again. You know how we love that? And just take 2 more breaths. And then release with the hands back to your knees. Inhaling, reach the arms up, and as you exhale, release into forward fold. Inhale to flat back, and exhaling forward fold. Inhale, reach up, and exhaling, hands to heart center. How are you feeling? I hope everything's feeling good. We're going to actually double up on some of the stretches that we typically do towards the end of our class. So if you're using your strap, go ahead and pull that out now. And I'm going to sit to the back part of my chair to start. And I'm going to take the strap at the end of my right foot here, or whichever leg you choose. You know, you're in your own space here, so you can do whatever you want. And then lift that leg, and where I want you to feel it, if you can, is actually to the calf. Can you feel it in the calf? And if it makes it better, slide that strap so it's almost at the base of your toes, and keep pulling in those toes, and that kicking out of the heel will help you feel it more in that calf. Good. And while you're doing that, start to push now the toes into the strap while you're holding it in place. What that just did is it helped fire your quad muscles on the tops of your thighs. So we're just going to rock back, bring the toes towards you for the calf stretch, then push the toes into the strap for that quad strengthening. And what we're doing is we're warming the leg up. So we're just kind of giving yourself a little bit of a warm up here as we get ready to move into kind of bringing the leg out to the side for that adductor stretch. Good. And then bring the toes in. Hold on to your strap and bring the leg out to the side. At this point, if it's easier for you to come down to the edge of your chair to give yourself a little more space, feel free. I like to do that, and I like to wrap my strap around my hand. Now, here, we're careful not to rotate into it. Like, whoa, look at me, I'm really stretching, but you're actually turning into it, so you're really not. But if you're facing forward and then bringing the leg out to the side, now you're feeling that stretch on the inside of your thigh. And if you need to hold on to your chair, for gosh sakes, hold on to it. You don't want to fall out. So you want to make sure that that chair is supporting you. And just hold on right here. If you're feeling tension throughout your low back, pull your belly in. If you have to lessen the intensity of the stretch, please do. And if you're starting to feel like, gosh, my arm is really working to hold up this leg, good for you, because you are doing some strengthening for that arm. So just make sure that there's no pain. And then take one more breath. And then draw the leg in, hand it off to the other hand, and then move into your twist. But remember, engage through the belly, lengthen through the spine, and then sweep the arm around. And just kind of feel that really nice rotation in the spine. I say kinda a lot. I don't know why. I remember my husband a long time ago took a radio and TV class at Moorpark College up above Simi Valley. Take 2 more breaths here. And the teacher responded to a student that said, well, it's kind of like, and he said, nothing is kind of like. It either is or it isn't. I never learned that lesson very well. And then release it. Good. How did it feel? Okay? Okay, we're going to do that same thing to the other side. So remember, draw it towards maybe the base of your toes, right about that bridge along the base of your foot. You know, hold on to it with both hands. And you're going to pull the toes in and then press the toes into the strap while you're holding it in place for the quads. So you'll feel the stretch in the calf and then a little bit of engagement, a little pop of that muscle on the top of the thigh. And just keep working it back and forth a little bit. Good. If you haven't had a chance to do much activity, you know, maybe it's uncomfortable for you to go to walks and whatnot. That still doesn't mean that you can't do a lot of things for your body to help it feel stronger. And when your body feels stronger, you feel better and your body feels more supported. So it's a win-win. And then bring those toes in. Go ahead and wrap that strap around your hand and then draw the leg out to the side. Again, take yourself towards the end of the chair if you feel safe. Hold on to that chair seat so that you don't push yourself too far. And just take a few deep breaths right here. You're doing great. Keep holding on. Good. And then bring that leg in, hang on to it with the other hand, and move right into that seated twist. And remember, lengthen through the spine as you rotate so that you restrict an over-rotation. Sometimes we think more is better. I know I feel that way about cookies, but then all of a sudden I eat too many cookies and I've got a stomach ache. Well, your body is the same thing. You might think that doing something more is better, but actually doing a little bit less makes a big difference. So then release from there and drop your feet down and just swish your knees from side to side and just take a few deep breaths. Good. And then go ahead and cross your right ankle over the left thigh. We're going to go into a hip stretch. So here's a couple of things to know. If you don't feel good with crossing that ankle over the thigh, go ahead and bring the outside edge of your foot to the block. If you are comfortable crossing that ankle over the leg, just feel free to halt here and then lean forward into that stretch for the outer hip. Just gentle resistance stretch, very gentle. Just whichever direction feels good to you. You're doing great. Just take a couple more deep breaths here. Good, and then release from there. Did it feel good? I want it to feel good, and so do you, right? And then either resting the outside edge of your foot to the block or taking it over your knee, and then lengthening through that long flat back and just leaning into it for that stretch. Take a couple of deep breaths. Good, and then release from there. How does it feel? Well, be sure to be ready for those stretches in just a little bit when we start to get to the end of our class, because we'll do them again. And what I want you to think about is, what restrictions did you feel in those stretches? Where did you feel like you couldn't go quite as deep? And remember that after we finish up the rest of our practice today, so that you can kind of re-explore it. So we're going to come to our balance poses. Your option if you'd rather stay in a seated posture. Otherwise, let's go ahead and come up. Make sure you're close to your chair, just in case you get a little lightheaded or you start to lose your footing, and just take your time coming to the back of the chair. With the next breath, let's reach the arms up and then release into your forward fold. I'm holding on to my chair seat because that gives me the support that I need. And then slowly walking my feet back into a downward facing dog. Just anchor through the hips and keep dropping those heels down so you feel the stretch. Now, while you're here, you have a couple of choices, and I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see it. I'm going to risk danger because my chair is on a wooden floor. As I've stepped my feet back, I have the choice of lengthening through the spine, and that will increase the intensity of the stretch. So instead of here all the way down, I'm lifted up a little bit. I also have the choice of keeping my heels down as I've shifted my weight forward. Did you see that? I just kind of gently shifted my weight forward. I am still solid anchored into that chair seat. The weight is going straight down, so it's holding it in place. What this just did is it channeled a lot more stretch through my calves. So I'm going to safely get my chair back to the mat here. And then you just pick the range of stretch that is best for you. And just hang on to it there. What kind of music are you playing? Are you playing any music? Maybe you aren't. Maybe you're just sitting in a little bit of quiet like I am today. That's sometimes kind of nice. I like quiet. Then in whichever posture you chose, step one foot forward. Doesn't matter which one. Just step it forward and keep those heels anchored. We're going to move right into our warrior one, but the upright standing warrior one. You did a warrior one in your chair, but now we're going to incorporate the warrior one in a standing pose. And I'll give you a lot of support to be able to hold on to that chair in case you feel like you're losing your balance. Go ahead and bend into the front knee. Keep the back heel down. Then round the back, roll it up, and first grab onto your chair back, and either keep holding here if you like. If you feel like you really need to hang on to that chair today, feel free. Kind of check into your feet again to make sure you don't feel any one hip pulling back. Kind of realign them. And then whatever foot is farther back, reach that arm up and over and just stretch. Boy, is that a nice stretch or what? I can feel that right into the front of my hip on that back leg. And just keep taking a few more deep breaths. Remember, try to avoid any rotation of that upper body. By sometimes just lessening intensity gives us exactly what we need. And then release from there. Good. Go ahead and step forward. Inhaling, reach up. Exhale back into your forward fold. Remember what foot was in front. And then start sliding your feet back. Either stay in your forward fold if you prefer, Otherwise, once you get back into that chair-supported downward dog, you can hold here, you can lengthen through a flat back, or bring the weight forward, whichever one works for you. Just make sure you're not feeling like you're losing your hold or your grip or your support. And just take one more breath. And step the opposite foot forward. There is a stretch that begins, so notice how that feels to you. Just take a breath. And then bend into that front knee, round the back, roll it up, making choices, either continuing to hold on to the chair back, or if you like, for the leg that's back, take that arm up and over and keep pressing that back heel down into the mat. And really get yourself a nice big stretch. Make sure it's the posture that you enjoy holding. So there's little things that we can do in our minds and our hearts and our intentions to be able to hold on to the posture or change the pose so that it works for our body. Let's take one more breath here. And then go ahead and release and step it to the front. That was awesome. With the next inhale, reach the arms up. Good. Just keep the arms overhead. Heels are on the floor. I know you're used to me saying, let the heels up. But go ahead and keep the heels down. And just notice your stretch. Notice your balance in this posture. If you feel like you got to drop both or one hand down to hold the chair, do it. Because this is for you. You're just testing out where is your center of balance here. Good. Then relax the hands back down to the chair seat. Nice. How about a tree? Press into one foot, lift the other foot. You know what? Today, I think because we're having our big spring weekend coming up this weekend, I think I'm going to think about this as a flower and not a tree today. So think about what is your favorite flower. I'll tell you what mine is in a minute. So in that breath, I want you to create that flower with all the balance and tension that you can. If you need to keep that foot parked to the mat so that you have more support, go for it. And then imagine that that beautiful face of yours is that flower. And then your arms are the leaves, either holding down low or maybe raising one or both. Just be that flower. Okay. So my flower that is my favorite all-time flower is a tulip. Do I look like one? Right now, I am a vibrant, bright yellow tulip. I think I'm making it, right? And then relax from there. Good job. Let's go ahead and make that flower to the opposite side. And you may decide to be creating a bouquet, or you may decide to switch flowers and be another flower, because maybe just nailing down one flower for you isn't going to work. And remember, you can keep that other foot anchored to the mat if you like, or rest the heel on the ankle, or raise the leg up to find that balance. Matters not. Make those little adjustments that you need to. Good. Take one more deep breath and exhale it out. Good job. Release the feet to the mat and then go ahead and walk your way back to a seated posture on your mat. Close to the chair, right? Now let's talk about sitting in the chair. We usually plop. Are you a plopper? I'm going to kind of guide you with utilization of your abdominal muscles because they help assist us if we start to lose control, and it reduces the impact of plopping in the chair, which goes right into your low back. So engage through your belly, guide the hips down and back, and lower yourself in. When you do that, it makes a big difference. Even if you have a soft chair, if you're a plopper, then you do take a lot of tension into that low back. And you want to kind of ease yourself into the chair because it actually pays a lot of respect and homage to the work that your body has to do every single day of your life. And your body is working hard to support you. It is the team behind the master. So taking our feet back to the block, with the next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale into forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhaling to forward fold. Inhale, reach up. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Draw the knees very close together. This is going to be our chair twist pose. So if you're not comfortable going here, move into chair or just hold right here with namaste hands. With the next inhale, lengthen through your spine. And as you exhale, bring an elbow towards the opposite knee. So when we do this, if you're starting to feel load and tension in the low back, just bring it back up because you don't have to go into the twist. If you're here, notice if you're collapsing into it. And if you are, see if you can tighten up through the belly and extend out through the spine a little bit more. That's going to remove so much load off of your low back when you make that little adjustment. But it will be okay if that feels too much. And just take one more deep breath here. And then lift up, and we're going to move to the opposite side. Lengthen through the spine, engage, and bring that elbow down into the side. I can tell you that in chair class, this posture is a lot harder than when you're standing. When you're standing, for some reason, you have a lot more displacement of the weight throughout your body so that your upper body's not taking as much impact. So this is a very challenging pose for us. And then gently lift up and release the arms to the side. Inhaling, reach the arms up. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhaling to forward fold. Inhaling, reach up. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Draw the elbows, bent elbows. Inhale, open the arms up just to the point that feels good to you. And exhale, draw those arms back in. And then just keep flowing through it. Inhale to open, exhale to close. You're doing great. Stay with it now because you're almost there. But I don't know about you. I always kind of get a little sad when I know that chair class is almost over because I love coming to the mat and joining with you guys every single time. And I've always said that this class goes by so fast. God. And I think a lot of it is because of you. I think you're the one that makes the difference in this class and makes it so joyful for me. So I'm so grateful that you're here. And one more flow right there. Good. I lied. Do one more and then draw it back in and then relax the hands towards your knees, alternating shoulder stretch to opposite knee. And just keep moving. We're going to add those arms, but remember, you may have discovered that the arm motion didn't work for you too well. And if it didn't, you don't have to do that. Remember, happiness prevails. It's our number one focus that we work on when we come to the chair to do our chair yoga class. We want to be happy. Good. And then incorporate the arm if you're comfortable doing that. That's not where you want to go. You don't have to. Good. And we're going to get ready one more time to each side, please. Good. And then last one. Nice. And then grab your straps. Good. Anchor the strap at the end of your foot. And then extend the legs out. So let me tell you what I've been working on lately. I've had a lot of time to work on things like a lot of folks. And I've just been enjoying all of the little work that I've been doing. I want you to this time circle the leg around. Just little circles. You might want to use both of your arms to hold that strap to start. I've been working on oil blending, and it's such a science that I've been so interested. I watched my first workshop yesterday online. I just absolutely love all of this ability to be able to see webinars and workshops online. And I'm going to be watching my second one today and then experimenting with blending oils. And I just didn't know what a science it was and how there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And the wrong way usually means that you wind up throwing out a lot of oil. The right way says that you achieve exactly what you're looking for. So it's been really fun. And go ahead and grab onto the strap. Good. And then bring the leg out to the side. So think about things that you've been working on lately. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you've been just taking a lot of time to relax and take it easy. And there is nothing wrong with dialing down. I think it is so good for your adrenal glands to dial down and take a breath and relax. In fact, when I think about dialing down, I think about plopping in a nice warm tub because that feels so soothing to me. And I also know that I'm not going to go anywhere too fast. Once I've run a tub of warm water, I'm not going to be wasting that. So I'm going to stay put for a while. And then draw the leg in, grab onto it with the other hand, and move into that twist. Remember, lengthen through the spine as you engage your belly so you don't overturn. So my oil blending is everything I've been thinking of lately. And it really is a lot of fun. It's so interesting how many things are available out there that you can learn from. And one of the beauties is being able to come here to Yoga Oceanside and be able to do your practice at home and still stay with your group that you like being with. And then release. And I know that for some of us, we might say, well, Leslie, I'm just staring at you and looking at, my screen, and go ahead and start rotating your leg around. I don't know other people out there. Imagine it. Just imagine all the faces that you're used to seeing at the studio, and imagine that every single one of them is just like you, watching the screen and connecting with you, me, everybody. So you can use your imagination to remember all of the people that are in your class. And I'll bet you could say every single name too, and then go ahead and switch the direction. I do. That's what I do. I imagine that all of the folks that I love so much are in our class watching right now. And if you're someone that's new that I haven't met yet, I cannot wait. I can't wait to meet you, because we'll be back in business before you know it. And then go ahead and grab onto that strap and draw that leg out to the side, stretch to that inner thigh. Just lengthen up through your body and take a few deep breaths. Just think of flowers, your favorite scents, sounds that you love to hear. Maybe if you're like me, you like to hear your grandson's laughter. Maybe you like to hear the chimes that tinkle in the wind outside your house or inside. And maybe it's the purr of your cat or the bark of your dog, the voices of your family members. There's so many things that we hear that give us pleasure. So just imagine those things in your mind right now. And then draw that leg in, switch it off to the other hand, and move into that seated twist. And just breathe nice and deep. Take one more breath here. And then release. Oh, you did great. How do you feel? We'll have just a couple of more stretches to do, and then we'll settle in for Shavasana. So as you bring yourself back into your chair seat, and I recommend that you go ahead and slide to the back part of your chair, because even if you haven't been at the back of the chair and you've been at the edge of your seat, you work your low back a lot, and your low back really appreciates a break every once in a while. So just relax into that chair seat. And with the next inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace your fingers and arc over to one side. And just breathe into that rib cage. And then arc up and over to the other side. And just stretch. And then reach the arms up, and then relax the arms down to the side. Shoulder circles up and around. Boy, that's hard to say 3 times fast. Shoulder circles. And just feel the opening up and the release of anything that you're holding on to that has restricted your movement. And sometimes when the body feels restricted, the mind and the heart are restricted as well. And then relax yourself into your chair. What would you like to do for your Shavasana? Would you like to lie down on your mat with the chair to the side, or rest your legs on the chair seat? Or maybe you'd rather just stay in your chair and relax there. Or maybe you have a comfy chair that you'd like to switch over into right now. You can do that. So take a moment and find the space that feels best for you as we start to move into Shavasana. If you're playing music that's a complement to relaxation, then by all means, keep it going. But you might find that you want to go into some quiet. So if you want to turn down your music, feel free. If you're using an oil of some sort today, feel free to dab on a little bit more of that. And for those that are reclining on the mat, if you have a little eye pillow or something that you want to put over your eyes to close out the light, feel free to do that as well. And then just make a couple of adjustments to your posture. Just kind of, there I go again, just kind of, we're going to work on that, aren't we? And sit into the pose, but then rock your body from side to side until you feel yourself get completely comfortable. In other words, don't let this posture that you're moving into be a source of distraction to you. Allow it to provide you with all of the comfort that you need to be able to completely release. And then once you've gotten into that posture, just take a deep inhale and blow the air out. And there is no perfection in life, but things really do turn out best for the people that make the best of the way things turn out. So make the best of these next few moments. Allow yourself to just sink into the space that you're holding. Allow the breath to soften. And when it's time to come back, I'll come for you. Take a breath. Maybe give your body a little bit of movement or a gentle stretch. Move your fingers and your toes and slowly bring yourself back to the surface. And let's draw our hands to the heart. It is a wonderful moment when we can join together and be able to celebrate our yoga no matter where we are. And it's always a wonderful reminder to remember that we have this ability to make the best of anything that we need to make the best out of, regardless of the circumstances. So let this be the best day so far, and I'll bet you that more best days are coming. Lokaha, samistaha, sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy, free, and at peace. Namaste.